Auxiliary.
Hello! West Alameda! It's after 7 o'clock. It's time to give a shout out and thank you to all the frontline and the essential workers, to the medical staff, the doctors, the nurses, transportation, longshoremen, the bus drivers, the truck drivers, those who work in the stores, those who work in the restaurants, the cashiers, the warehouse, postal employees, the teachers, the parents. So please, if you can hear my voice, would you please clap your hands, shout, bang your pots and pans, honk your horns, make some noise! All right, yeah! All right! Frontline workers, thank you! Yeah! All right, we see you! Thank you! Find me a place to sit down. Turn this thing around. Hey, what's going on, Facebook? Hey, Paulette. Everybody that's out here. Just wanted to ask all of you to please keep in your prayers and your thoughts all those who have died from coronavirus, all those all over the world, here in the United States, and right here in the Bay Area in California. Please keep in prayers and thoughts those who have tested positive for COVID-19 and currently, currently in quarantine, either self-quarantine or in the hospital. But, please keep them in your prayers and thoughts. Y'all excuse me for a minute. I got to close the window. I've been trying not to go outside on the balcony. And so since I don't go on the balcony, I do it right here in my living room. But then I have the window open so I can yell out. So, yeah. Okay, that's better. Wow. Today is day 286. And the quarantine actually started back in March, and I started doing all this thing back in April 1st. Wow, it's a lot of days. And come April 1st, it'll be one whole year for me doing this, and it'll be more than a year because in March is when it started. But yeah, so much has happened. So much has happened. The whole thing in DC and everything. So yeah, as always, I'm asking for your prayers and your thoughts for all the victims of coronavirus, and for everybody, was going through things. People going through a lot of mental and emotional stress. Oh, y'all like my shirt? My daughter got this for me. It says, "World's Greatest Lolo." Lolo. In case y'all don't know, Lolo means grandfather in Filipino, and that's the Filipino son. So, yeah. Hey, Jan, what's going on? Back here, this is my collage.
like a family collage of family members, and yeah. So anyway, keep them in your prayers and your thoughts, please, and people who are having emotional and mental stress, people just going through a lot of problems and issues because of the whole thing with the shutdown and having to stay home and just a lot of stress. So, keep all of them in your prayers and your thoughts. And my shout out today is for Capitol Police Officer by the name of Eugene Goodman. We've seen pictures of Eugene Goodman. It's that one lone black cop. And we'll get into that about, hey, Mabel, you're too late today? Why are you too late? Listen, you get on here, you're on time, because I'm never on time. That's why my shout out says, hello, it's after 7 o'clock. Because if I had to do it at 7 o'clock, I would never make it. But you good. Whenever you get on here, you good. You're one of the few people, you and Paulette and Cruz and Bob or some other people who get on here on the regular. So I appreciate you. Thank you, Mabel. Anyway, Eugene Coleman, Black Capitol Police Officer. He's the one that you've probably seen these memes. That's what that is, M-E-M-E, the meme, where they show this white dude with a Confederate flag chasing a black cop. Cop is running away and all this stuff. And then he's seen the videos where he's going up the stairs and he's the only cop going up these stairs. And this mob is coming behind him. And when he gets up to the top of the stairs, he has to figure out which way to go. He looks to the left, and that's where the Senate Hall, where the senators are, and the Senate door is still wide open, and he can see that there are senators inside that room. He looks to the right, and it's like it's empty. So what he does, he pushes one of the ringleaders, the Confederates, just chasing him up the stairs, following up the stairs or whatever, and then, backs away, and then they all start following him. They never look to the left. They follow him to the right. You ever see those pictures where when a predator is chasing after some food or whatever, he's chasing after food, whatever, after animals, and the mother bird or mother squirrel or whatever it is, the mother goat or whatever, will deliberately lead the predators, the hyenas, the wolves, the tigers, the lions, or whatever, will lead them away from their child. So in other words, it's like they'll chase the mother while the babies get away. So that's what that cop did. So when you see this thing, it always looked like he's running scared and everything, but he was by himself, and we're going to talk about why was he by himself later on. But I want to give a shout out to him, Eugene Goodman. He made a decision. He could have went to the left. The door was open. There was other people there. He could have went over there, tried to shut the door, like that. But he didn't do that. He led them away from the senators that was in that room. And the maggots, the Trump maggots, they followed him. And then eventually some more cops came, and then he had backup. So, Mabel, he needs to be commended. I totally, absolutely agree with you. I don't normally have a lot of good things to say about the police because of the fact that, a lot of cops go out, not a lot of cops, but there are some cops, some police who are responsible for murder of unarmed Black and Latino people, men and women, and they get away with it. But I want to commend this brother, this police officer, for what he did. He led the enemy away from civilians, from senators. led them away. And when you look at the video, when they followed him, nobody even looked to the left. So he led them away. And then eventually he got someplace where some more cops showed up. I also saw on TV today where two Capitol police officers were suspended. One for taking a selfie. I mean, that's like, you're on the job. You're not supposed, even if you believe that Trump was right, even if you believe that all these maggots was correct in what they were doing for their so-called protest, which was not a protest. You know what I'm saying? Even if you believed all that, as a police officer with the responsibility of allegedly, supposedly protecting the senators and the congressmen, you don't be taking those selfies with the people that just broke through. You know, it makes you look suspect, like you're like a part of them, like you approve. And even if you approve of what they're doing on the outside, on the inside, you know, you got to keep that on the inside. All right. So I understand they were suspended. The second cop was suspended because allegedly, and I like to use the word allegedly he was directing the maggots where to go. But between me and you, Mabel, and anybody else who get on there, I think he knew exactly what he was doing. He was telling people where to go. Hey, there's Pelosi's office. There's Pence's office. There's their office. He was directing them where to go. So instead of sitting up there fighting them, he was like, you know, helping them. Throughout history, there would be times when the enemy would attack a fort and they couldn't get into the fort because the walls was guarded too well. And then someone on the inside who was sympathetic to the enemy on the outside would secretly open up a door and let them in. Okay, so I agree. They should be fired. Now, absolutely they should be fired. Now, as far as Eugene Goodman, he should get a commendation. Ron, what's up with you, Ron? All right. He should get a commendation. But I want to ask this question. Why was Homeboy by himself? Why was Eugene Goodman the only cop right there by himself? How did he get cut off from all the other police? I don't know. I don't know, but it just looks bad. You know, it just looks bad because to me it's kind of like, you know, y'all supposed to be on the same team. Y'all all wearing blue. Y'all got that blue line. Y'all got that blue line where you don't cross and where you protect each other. And blue is more important than the color of your skin. Well, for some people it may be. And I don't know the whole story, so I'm just going along with the visuals of what I saw. But yes, I believe he should be commended. And yes, I have questions as to why was he by himself? Why was this black cop the only one running up them stairs by him damn self? You would imagine that the cops, even if you get cut off, you would imagine that the cops would at least, you know, stay with their partners or, you know, be like, dude, man, we on the same side. You got to watch my back. I got to watch your back. I don't know. Maybe you said it was a setup. Maybe it was a setup. I don't know. I don't want to say things that I really don't know. It just seems really funny to me. And I'm glad that, you know, he didn't get killed. I'm glad that they wasn't able to jack him up. Now, I understand that the chief of the Capitol Police, he resigned. And that's the thing, when you resign, you're not even held accountable for what you done did. So, but he said, the chief of the police, the Capitol Police, he said he tried to call for the National Guard. He tried to call for other cops to help him and all this stuff. And he said every time he tried to talk to anybody, they turned him down. Now, normally I don't take the side of the police, but in this case, I think he was actually truthful. I think that he did because they had witnesses where every time he was trying to get somebody to help, they wouldn't do it. Now we have to understand that the mayor of D.C. can request for National Guard, but only the president of the United States can bring in National Guard. Okay, only the president of the United States can bring in National Guard, and the president refused. Donald Duck. I'm sorry, Ed. Donald Trump. He refused to call it the National Guard. It wasn't until the vice president did it. So there's a lot of things that need to be answered, a lot of questions that have to be answered, which I don't have no answers to. And I believe he's guilty. Maybe you say he's guilty and he's running scared, and all of that. He knows something. I believe you. I believe you. To me, the bottom line is the police, um, the sergeant of arms for the Senate and sergeant of arms for Congress and the chief of police for the Capitol Police, they did not look at the Trump people as being enemies of the government. Black Lives Matter protesters, we look like we're enemies of the public, we're enemies of the government because we're black, because we're brown, we're Muslims, we're white allies. We're the people who are protesting the murder of unarmed civilians by police. So that makes us the enemy. The Trump maggots, Make America Great Trump supremacy, they were looked at as being friends of the government. So therefore, they didn't take that as a threat. And when Donald the clown sits up here and his boy Giuliani sit up here and tell people we should have trial by combat and you got to be strong, take back the country, and you can't be weak and all this other stuff, and then they just bum rush the White House. Bottom line was they had the chief of police said he had 1,200 cops to guard the building, the Capitol building, and there was over 20,000, maggots out there. Hey, Vincent, what's going on? So, but we have to understand that 1,200 cops that was not in riot gear, they had helmets and some of them had shields. They wasn't, they had no dogs, they didn't have no water hoses, they didn't have no shotguns with rubber bullets, they didn't have none of that stuff, which is all the things that they always have whenever they deal with Black Lives Matter. With Black Lives Matter, it's always a different thing. When we are protesting against the murder of unarmed Black and Latino and Muslim civilians and white allies, when we're protesting that makes us enemies of the police department, and that's how they look at it. So we're their enemies. Whereas all the maggots, the Trump people, they're considered friends and allies. They're considered the good guys. So I believe that the chief of police really felt that they were the good guys and they wasn't going to do nothing bad. So that's my feelings about it. I don't know how y'all feel, but that's what I think. And yes, Mabel, I totally agree. All of them should be arrested. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I totally agree. I totally agree. So, it's a lot of interesting questions about all of that. So, everybody has to make up their own mind on what they think is right or wrong. Is messed up. So anyway, that's who my shout out goes out to, is for Eugene Goodman, the Capitol police officer. I was thinking of, I don't know if y'all know anything about Roman mythology or Roman history or something like that. There was Horatio at the gates. When the barbarians was attacking, Horatio came to the bridge and stood at the bridge and kept the barbarians from crossing the bridge or whatever. And And I like to think of Eugene Goodman as being like that Horatio for the Romans, but here at the Capitol building. But basically, what he did was just led them away from the Senate Hall. So he should be one of those who should get a commendation. And also that that poor cop that was he was trapped between Shields and the window and the other cops. I don't know if you've ever been in a crowd where you just been all crushed in and you can't move. Um, they did a battle scene, a war scene in Game of Thrones where everybody was so crunched up they couldn't fight at all. You couldn't even lift your shield or your sword to fight, and people suffocated to death. Um, at the Battle of Cannae, when the African general Hannibal he trapped a Roman army of 80,000, and the Roman army had like the Roman army was powerful. They had all the shields, they marched in formation, they had discipline and all that stuff. And Hannibal, with his Africans and his Gauls from Spain and his auxiliaries, he he had like maybe 30,000 men, and he trapped the Romans where they couldn't breathe because they were trapped in. I think they had the river on one side and mountain on the other side, and the Africans and the Gauls just had them crushed in, and a lot of them died from suffocation. That reminded me when I saw that cop being crushed like that. That reminded me of what the Battle of Cannae must have looked like. And any of you who ever watched Game of Thrones, if you remember that battle scene where they were trapped. They were trapped where people was crawling over each other. And even the hero, I can't even think brother's name now, but even the hero was being crushed, and he had to crawl his way out of there and managed to get out of there. And they ended up winning the battle. But anyway, so I just, I'm rambling. My bad. So let me give my shout out to Eugene Coleman, and because I'm doing it from home. So here we go. Mabuhay! Hamadla! Hokahe! Mahalo! Wakanda forever! Shalom! Assalamu alaikum! Wa alaikum assalam! Harambe! Elijah, what's up with it? How you doing? All right. So yeah, y'all remember that name, Eugene Goodman? That's who my shout out was to him. And you know, hey y'all, I'm gonna get up off of here. I hope everybody please stay safe, stay strong. I did go out today. My car wouldn't start up. I had to get a battery jump, but it turned out it was like corrosion on the battery posts and all that stuff. So that was like I didn't need a jump after all. But even there I had my mask on. And then I did go to Safeway and pick up some bread and stuff. Mabel, I will see you tomorrow, and thank you. I appreciate you coming on here, and I appreciate you giving your comments and everything, and it really makes me feel good. Like today when I was yelling out the window, a car drove down the street and was honking a horn, and I really appreciate that. So, hey, everybody stay safe, stay strong, wear that mask. If God let me wake up, I will see y'all tomorrow for day 287. All right? I got you. Peace out, y'all. One love. I need a haircut. I tell you that. I tell you every day. Every day I need a haircut. I need a haircut. Ugh. This is normally how my hair be looking like that. Okay. Or like that. So this is so since y'all up here, this is pictures of my family. So you see we got diversity. We got diversity. Our family come in all colors. Everything. That's my mom, y'all. Two of my sons served in the war in Iraq. Oh, and before I go, today is the anniversary of my granddaughter, baby Jordan Kent the first. Today would have been her 10th birthday. And so she's not here, and I keep her in my heart. She's in my heart. She's in my memory. And, so I like to say names of people so that we don't forget. Oh, speaking of, I forgot to say names. So, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Alejandro Nieto, Andy Lopez, Guadalupe Ochoa, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Emmett Till, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Walter Scott. The list goes on, and Sandra Bland, and the list goes on and on. So, you guys stay safe, stay strong. I'm up out of here. Peace out, everybody. One love. That's that Lolo. See, Lolo.